The Chanel suit caught the morning light streaming through the penthouse windows as Elena Rosewood adjusted her pearl necklace one last time. At 62, she possessed the kind of elegant beauty that comes from a life well lived. Silver hair styled in a sophisticated chignon, laugh lines that spoke of joy rather than age, and eyes that sparkled with an inner radiance money couldn't buy. But today was different. Today, those manicured hands that once held champagne flutes at charity galas would sign papers that would change everything. "Mrs. Rosewood, are you absolutely certain about this?" her financial advisor asked, his voice trembling slightly as he reviewed the documents spread across the mahogany conference table. The numbers were staggering $347 million after taxes from the largest lottery jackpot in state history. Elena smiled, the same radiant smile that had graced magazine covers during her modeling days in the 1980s. When she was the face of luxury brands and lived in a world of silk scarves and first-class flights. "I've never been more certain of anything in my life, David." The story began 3 months earlier, on a Tuesday that started like any other. Elena had stopped at Giuseppe's Corner Market, the same place she'd bought her morning coffee for 15 years. Ever since moving to this neighborhood after her divorce. Giuseppe, a weathered Italian immigrant with hands that told stories of hard work, always greeted her with genuine warmth. "The usual, Mrs. Elena?" he asked, already reaching for her preferred blend. "Actually, Giuseppe, let me try something different today." She glanced at the lottery display, something she'd never paid attention to before. "One of those tickets, please." Giuseppe's eyebrows shot up. In all their years of friendship, she'd never bought a lottery ticket. "Feeling lucky today? Feeling hopeful," she replied, though she couldn't explain why. The ticket lay forgotten in her purse for 3 days until her housekeeper, Maria, mentioned the unclaimed jackpot on the news. Elena retrieved the crumpled paper with perfectly manicured nails painted in her signature shade of soft pink. One by one, the numbers matched. All 6 of them. The moment should have been euphoric. Instead, Elena felt a profound stillness wash over her. She thought of her grandmother's words, spoken decades ago in their small apartment above the family bakery. "True wealth, Minita, is not what you keep, but what you give away." Growing up, Elena's family had struggled. Her grandmother cleaned office buildings at night so Elena could attend dancing lessons. Her mother worked double shifts at the factory so Elena could afford the dress for her first modeling audition. They had given everything so she could rise, so she could eventually find success, marry well, and live the glamorous life they could only dream of. But glamour, Elena learned, could be a beautiful cage. Her marriage to pharmaceutical executive Richard Rosewood had provided every luxury imaginable. Homes in the Hamptons and Monaco. Closets filled with designer gowns, jewelry that belonged in museums. Yet the loneliest moments of her life were spent in that gilded world, surrounded by people who loved her lifestyle more than they loved her. The divorce had been liberating, stripping away the superficial connections and leaving her with something far more valuable: authenticity. She downsized to a modest penthouse, filled it with art from local artists rather than famous names, and began volunteering at a women's shelter 3 blocks from Giuseppe's Market. It was there she met Sophia, a 19-year-old mother who reminded Elena of herself at that age, beautiful, determined, but trapped by circumstances. Sophia had fled an abusive relationship with her 2-year-old daughter, carrying nothing but dreams of becoming a nurse and providing a better life for little Isabella. "I just need a chance," Sophia had whispered during one of Elena's visits, bouncing her daughter on her hip. Just one real chance. Now, holding the winning lottery ticket, Elena knew exactly what that chance looked like. The first call she made wasn't to a financial advisor or a lawyer. It was to the shelter. "I want to establish an endowment," she told the director, her voice steady with purpose. "Full college scholarships for every woman who completes our program. Housing assistance for those transitioning to independence. Childcare support so mothers can focus on their studies." The second call was to Giuseppe's daughter, Anna, who had mentioned her struggle to keep the family market afloat after her father's heart attack. The third was to Maria's son, whose medical school dreams had been deferred due to financial constraints. By the end of the week, Elena had created a foundation with a simple mission to give others the chances she had been given, but which so many never receive. The media attention was immediate and intense. Reporters camped outside her building, wanting to understand how someone could give away a fortune. Television interviews, magazine covers, documentary requests. Overnight, Elena became famous, not for her former glamorous lifestyle, but for her extraordinary generosity. "Don't you regret it?" asked a prominent television host during a primetime interview. "Even a little." Elena, stunning in a simple black dress that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary, smiled with genuine contentment. "You know what I regret? The years I spent thinking happiness came from having more instead of giving more." The foundation's impact rippled outward like stones dropped in still water. Sophia graduated nursing school with honors and now works in pediatric oncology, often telling her patients about the elegant lady who believed in second chances. Giuseppe's Market became a community hub, offering job training programs and microloans to immigrant entrepreneurs. Maria's son completed medical school and opened a clinic in an underserved neighborhood. But perhaps the most profound change was in Elena herself. The woman who had once measured worth by the size of diamonds now found richness in the sparkle of hope in grateful eyes. Her penthouse, while still beautiful, became a gathering place for foundation board meetings, mentorship sessions, and celebrations of scholarship recipients. Achievements. 6 months after giving away her winnings, Elena stood before a mirror in her walk-in closet, still filled with designer pieces. But now each outfit was chosen for foundation events, interviews about philanthropy, or visits to the women's shelter. The reflection showed a woman transformed not by loss, but by the discovery of her true purpose. Her phone buzzed with a text from Sophia. "Isabella took her first steps today. We're in our new apartment thanks to the foundation. She walked straight toward a photo of you on our mantle. Even at 2. She knows an angel when she sees one." Tears-happy ones sparkled on Elena's cheeks like the finest diamonds she'd ever worn. That evening, she returned to Giuseppe's Market, as she did every morning for coffee. The old man's eyes crinkled with warmth and something deeper, profound respect. "You know, Mrs. Elena," he said, handing her the usual blend, "in all my years in America, I've seen many people win the lottery. But you're the first person I've ever met who actually won by giving it away." Elena sipped her coffee and smiled, her heart fuller than any bank account could ever make it. Outside, the city lights twinkled like stars, each one representing a life touched by kindness. A dream made possible, a future brightened by the radical act of putting love before luxury. She had learned what her grandmother knew all along, that true wealth is unmeasured in what we accumulate, but in what we illuminate in others. And in giving away every penny of her lottery winnings, Elena Rosewood had won something far more valuable than money. She had won the lottery of the soul. Like and subscribe for more videos.